Alright, welcome to Scoot's Openings, where Scoots haven't been invented yet, but they will be. Got Scoot as your host, one and only today. Got one pack of Battlestyles I found at Walgreens. And then I have a full Elite Trainer box of Battlestyles. This will be a little different today. Me and me only. We'll go through all the openings, but I'm going to talk about a little problem I've been having in my personal life. Well, it's not my personal life. It's other people's personal lives that's bothering my personal life. Well, so I work for the railroad, and I'm in management. I'm over a whole division. Two of my members, sorry, had to get the cat out of here. Two of my members of my division started seeing each other, which is, management-wise, that's a no-no. But I guess when it comes to union employees, it is what it is. You can still get in trouble for it, but it's kind of looked differently. So I figured out these two were going together by another railroad employee. Kind of has a big mouth. Told me all about this girl on the railroad and who she's seen and who she's been with. Well, he told me that she's been with Bob. We'll call him Bob on my side. There's the Battlestyles pack. Here's Battlestyles Elite Trainer box. Well, Bob and her, I guess, didn't just get together. They dated. And I did not know this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, they end up... Well, I'll get to that part next. But Bob goes through a pretty tough time. He has a very close member of his family pass away, and I do my best to help him to have the correct off days to be there to see such and such and be at the funeral, be able to be there for him whenever he's passing away. There's dividers. There's a code card, and there's the sleeves. But I can only do so much for him. I got him off when he needed. He comes back. Well, I'm thinking he's in better moods. Well, whenever this employee comes back, everything seems good. But the employee that he was dating, they end up breaking up. And she ends up getting with another employee. I didn't know any of this. He came to the yard one day and said, hey, these people have been marking off sick a lot. Or marking off together, and they should be handled for it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I've looked into their attendance. This person will be handled and this person won't. She hasn't, her attendance isn't that bad. Well, I didn't think anything about it. Little did I know that the two people he had stated that they should be in trouble for their attendance, those were the two people that were together. All right, here's the first pack. So then I started digging into it, and this guy, the one employee that broke up with the other one, we'll just call him Bob and her Delilah. Okay, Delilah comes up to me and said, hey, Bob is bothering me in the hotel, calling my phone off the hook. I've blocked him on my original phone, and he's just calling whenever we're in the hotel together, he's beating down my door, calling my phone constantly, having other people call my phone. And will you please talk to him? So I've never dealt with a situation like this because I'm pretty new to the supervisor role. So I said, yes, I will. And so we left it at that. And the next time Bob was in the yard, I had a conversation with him saying, hey, I don't know what's going on. You need to cut it out. Whatever it is, I'll tell her the same thing. Whatever it is, just needs to stop. Well, he had a huge problem with this. At 6 o'clock, I went home and went on my off days. My assistant didn't tell me that whenever he got in that day, he pulled up in the yard and said, I'm too stressed to do my work. I need to go home, because of the conversation we had previously had, which was no real conversation at all, just telling him, I don't know what's going on, but it needs to calm down, needs to end. Well, it keeps going on, and Bob decides, you know what, this train master isn't getting her in enough trouble, Steelix Hollow. I need to go farther. The FRA is a government organization that watches over railroad operations, whether it be management or employees. He turns Delilah in for having pictures of the railroad on her Instagram. You're not supposed to have any data at all while you're working out on the railroad. So that ends up getting the unions involved, and once the unions got involved, as a union member, you don't turn in another union member. That is your brother or sister. You turn them in, the whole union's going to turn against you. So the union's pretty much turned against this guy, Bob. Well, the complaints haven't changed. Now Bob is starting to call everybody at 3 in the morning, drunk, and, well, I say drunk. Can't prove it that he's drunk because it's a call, not a, you're not seeing him in person. He ends up missing a call and telling my assistant that he was in the hospital. Well, he didn't take his crap and charged him for the missed call. That night, I heard from another employee that such and such called him at 3, 4, 5 in the morning and texted him, kept waking him up, and just to bitch and complain about Delilah, or whatever I said her name was. Well, anyway, this is still going on. And now Delilah is marking off sick anytime she's going to have to go to the hotel with us, with Bob. Which is understandable, but he thinks she should be charged every time she marks off sick, so he's calling me every single time she marks off. This is not such a great elect trainer box so far, by the way. And finally, on, I guess it was 2 or 3 days ago, he calls me and says, she marked off sick. I got called for this train. I should not be on this train. I should not be there for other employees that don't protect their own job, blah, 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 blah. And we had it out. I told him it's not his responsibility to be worrying about other employees. If it's a problem he had with the caller, they should have called the extra board, blah, blah, blah. It's none of his business who marks off sick and who does this. And we had it out. Well, Bob ended up being wrong. A different train was called. He was covering his own turn and not the one that he thought he was covering. So I called him back and showed him how he was in the wrong and how he shouldn't be doing this, and he shouldn't be calling me every time somebody else does something wrong, because it's none of his business. So we have that conversation, and everything goes back to normal. He's called for a train, and he's supposed to be there at such and such time. About 30 minutes later, he doesn't show up for work. So with the history we've had, him been waking up everybody at 3 in the morning, and the problems we've had in the past, we are down to 2 packs. We have gotten 1 hollow rare, and that is it. Hopefully we get something here. Lightning, Tower of Waters. But we instantly think that he just, from me and his conversation earlier in the day, he just didn't want to show up to work and basically quit that day. Well, there's the second hollow rare. We're down to the last pack of Elite Trainer box with no ultra rares. Well, I called my boss and asked him if I should pull him out of service, and he's not answering any calls, he's not answering any texts. And he said, no, there's always that chance that he got in a major accident and he couldn't make it to work. Well, I guess later on that day, Bob's cousin calls him, tells him he was in a major accident and is in the hospital. So we're like, okay, we'll see how this goes. And so his mom calls me later that night and says he was in a major accident, was life flighted. Maybe? Uh-oh. Tapu Koko VMAX. And it has a little bit of feel to it. That is a nice card. It's cool. Heck, that looks almost perfect. Well, she tells me he was life flighted, major accident, and he's in the hospital. Well, none of us can find any signs of an accident that day. We've looked through the news, couldn't find it on the news, didn't see anything on the news. Tapu Koko. So I called the hospital. He's actually in the hospital, but that's as much as we know. So that's a story of what's going on in my life. And I left out some details because I figured if I left those details in it, it'd follow me back. There's code card. Let's guess. Leaf. Metal. Dial blade. Cacturn. I probably just wasted everybody's time telling the story, but it's a story that still hasn't ended, and I'm not 100% sure how to deal with it. So I've asked my boss and haven't got a good response. So now it's out there. But thanks for watching the video. Remember, always swing hard in case you hit it. Everybody have a good one.